guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is another Marvel related video. Today, we're going to be tackling the latest Marvel MCU show, Ms. Marvel. I know it's been pretty controversial for a lot of ways, and this might be kind of a different video than what you'd expect me to be making. But before I watched it, before I even started episode 1 out of 6, I just finished 6. And Echo Killshot, he's like, oh man, it's so bad. And I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad. It's MCU. The Incredible Hulk, Captain Marvel 1, Iron Man 2, Thor 2. Those aren't bad, and they're not even close to bad. But, they're not maybe as memorable as Infinity War, Endgame, whatever. So, it can't be that bad. And my uncle's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm sure it'll be alright. It's bad. So look, I don't want to seem like I'm hating on the show, because I'm not. I do not hate this show. But it is by far my least favorite and also the worst thing I've ever seen in the MCU. For two main reasons. One, it's woke. And two, it actually isn't that well made. Now, episode 6, I can't spoil this if you haven't seen Ms. Marvel. Episode 6 by far is the best one. Not just because it's the culmination, it's just the best made. It's the funniest. Not every joke lands, but it's got a cool little setup, cool payoff moments. Seeing her in the costume is cool. So there's a lot of neat things in the final episode. But getting to that point with the whole, I guess we'll start with the woke stuff. This show is not woke because there is a girl in the center, right? Ms. Marvel. That's not it. It's also not woke because it's Arabic or Muslim or Pakistan, whatever. That's not why it's bad. It's woke because you have, the Ms. Marvel going, oh, there's no brown superheroes. Okay. Then you have her one friend, oh, I'm too white, but I'm also too brown. My mommy doesn't accept me. And then you have all this other weird stuff. There's so many crazy things, like, of course, the first 5 seconds of the last episode, the damage control lady's like, powers don't belong in those people's hands. And, of course, we're meant to think, oh, racist. You see even the other guy's like, what do you mean, sir? And she's like, children, you idiot! So it's caked in pity. That's what it is. Let me just drop the news bomb here. I said this in my other video. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter where the hell you're born or where you come from. If you're a good person, you matter. Bad people don't matter. Good people do matter. So when I say that I don't like this show, or I'm not racist, all right, for all these people online that like to call everyone everything, I'm not any of those things. I'm just a big Marvel fan. And a lot of this show has nothing to do with action or a little bit of comedy or even really a good plot. It's just shoving down your face, look, we matter too. This girl, she matters. This guy, he matters. Shove it down my throat till I choke on the information. That's essentially what it is. There's even a full frickin' episode devoted to going to Pakistan, and I googled Pakistan on Google, and the first thing that comes up is don't go there because you can get beheaded or killed. Again, I'm not trying to insinuate that everyone from that area is a horrible person, alright? I'm not. Don't twist my words. However, it is very funny that when they go there, it's peaceful, and it's, I know, it's not all a war zone, I'm not an idiot, but, it is kind of, it's of course sanitized, it's a Marvel show, but, again, it's all about that pity. Oh, brown people need love. Yeah, you always mattered, Muslims, what I mean? All these people, they always mattered. It's not like they never did, and there are brown people. It's like, dude, they've always mattered. Everyone in the world matters, what I mean? You don't need to shove it down my throat and, pity, white people only think they matter, so we need to make sure they understand everyone does. It's just a big effing sexist. It's a sex war. It's a race war. That's what this whole woke thing is. And sadly, it's in this show. There's a few more instances which I won't even get into. But besides being kind of woke and being kind of slammed down your face in a few scenes, it's not everywhere, but it's prevalent enough where I kind of hemmed and hawed. It's also very boring. I've never checked my phone more than 4 times during a Marvel movie or show ever. And I did it like 5 times in one episode, right? I don't care about Kamala's brother getting married. I don't care. I don't care about the wedding. I don't care about partition. And I know that's going to sound like, oh, you're just a white boy. You don't care. No, I genuinely just don't. I'm not invested in this plot. I'm not a girl, so I don't get excited when she gets all excited about dating a boy. I will admit, some good things in a minute. All right, again, I'm not hating, but I really didn't like it that much. I'm sorry. It is boring to a degree where it's just them talking, and she's going to Avenger Con, and there are fun things at Avenger Con, but the power thing comes up, and I'm like, all right, cool. She's got like a bracelet or whatever the heck they call it, and they're going places, and it's going to be great. And then the second episode is really boring. Like I said, it's just like a wedding thing, and they're just talking the whole time. And it's just, her friend is like, oh, I'm going to make some changes, and we got to change radicalism. And then it ends in a really bad fight scene with these dudes. I mean, the concept is neat. There's a lot of awesome concepts in the show that I'm excited to see. Miss Marvel and the costume, awesome. The powers, awesome. I know it's controversial, get into it. But, these like the villains here, they're beeping and bopping around. This guy's got like a crazy-ass whip thing he's whipping around. It's cool. Damage control is cool. I can't remember. It starts with a C, convergence or I don't know, something. Basically from like that different dimension terrorist guys. And they have a cool concept, but the villains aren't that scary and they're not very fun. And the action scenes, especially in the show, are very poorly made. Like they cut away too quick and it's very effing hard to tell what's even going on. You can tell whenever Miss Marvel is like jumping around on those little purple portal things, her legs are completely CGI. Really takes you out of it. It's just, there's so much stuff to not like. And the stuff that I do like is there, which I'll get into in a minute, but it's nowhere, it's nowhere near the stuff I don't like, which is a big shame, because I wanted to like this show. But between all the woke stuff they show, and of course, everything's woke now, we just gotta accept it, I guess, sadly, even though I don't like it. I guess there are people that do. There's also all these crazy things, like I said, it's boring. It really just drags on, the humor doesn't land at all. I probably laughed twice, and it wasn't like a ha, it was like a little exhale out of my nose. That's what it was. Just from 2 episodes out of 6. A lot of it is millennial-based humor. It's like, oh, here's a picture for my TikTok. It's just, I don't have TikTok. I don't care about it. If there are people that laugh at it, that's funny. Humor is subjective. I didn't laugh. That's not to say it's objectively bad comedy, because again, like I just said, humor depends on who you are and what you find funny. For me, it's a negative because I didn't find it funny, and it felt kind of cringy. The acting also, I think Kamala Khan, I don't know her name, she's a good actress, but of course the first thing she does when people don't like the first episode of the show is she goes online, social media, and says, you don't like my show, you're a racist, you're a sexist, it's like, no, people don't like your show because it's not a good show. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's objectively bad. I don't think it's that great. You might love it, and that's perfectly okay. And that's your opinion. I accept that. But for me, it's not the best. And the fact that the actress who, by the way, is probably close to being a billionaire by now, I'm imagining, when you're working on the MCU, right? You're set for freaking life. First thing she does is go online and say, on her phone, you're all losers! You know what I mean? It's like, come on, you know what I mean? You can't win, you can't effing win with these people. But in the show, she is a good actress, for what she had to do. She's not crying, she cries a little bit. She's not, Oscar Isaac Moon Knight level, even stuff like that. It's not the best. But it's not bad, I think she's fine. Bruno, he's funny, he's cool, he's a likable, character. I think that her brother, her mom and dad, her whole family are really kind of relatable. Not relatable, but, I like, they're good characters, you know what I mean? When I say good, they don't like having this crazy backstory, but they're just likable people in the show. You know what I mean? That's what's really cool. I think that's a pretty cool family. The dad dresses up like Hulk. He's got all green skin. Clearly her mom and dad care, and she even, like, the mom, I was getting this impression that the mom's kind of a jerk. She's like, don't go out at night, don't do this, you gotta wear that, don't go. And then finally in the last episode or whatever, she's like, look, I'm strict because I don't want to let you go. And it clicked. I was like, oh, okay, she cares. She's not just an a-hole. She just maybe is a bit too strict, a little bit of a helicopter. But I do think that, she ultimately does care about her, daughter Kamala, and I think that's really cool. So there are things I like. Some of the humor, 1 or 2 things were funny. Again, the acting for the most part was good. Back to the acting, though, before I continue with the positives. I do think that, while some of the acting is good, a lot of it is very Bollywood-esque. And no, that's not racist. A lot of Bollywood films have really crap acting. It's just the fact of it. And a lot of the people in the show, especially her mom in certain scenes, they don't give off emotion when they should, or their comedy scenes are just really like, they just kind of say with like a blank face. There's no like emotion or zazz or pizzazz or like I said, emotion to it. She's just kind of there, you know, a lot of the, and it's not just her, you know, a lot of the characters. And it also doesn't help that half the time they either speak in their own language and there's no subtitles, or they speak English, and because they're from these different countries, I can't understand what the hell they're saying. Again, that's not racist. I have to specify that apparently. It's hard to understand them sometimes. It's like Apu from The Simpsons, you know? And that's just how they talk. But once you pay attention, maybe turn the volume up a bit, you get it. But it's not that bad. But some of the acting was reminding me of a Bollywood film, and not to the MCU caliber. But, you know, so the CGI for the most part is good. You know, Kamala's legs are a bit wonky, but other than that, the effects are good. You know, it's a Marvel show, so that department is usually pretty on top of things, I think. You know, the writing is good when it's not forcing a certain agenda down your throat. It's pretty nice. Again, that's about it as far as negatives, you know, but they're pretty substantial negatives. There's a lot of moments where I felt very cringing and very not funny moments, and the action was very hard to follow. Not all of it was. Again, I don't want to say all of it. None of the humor landed. None of the action scenes were good. Because that tuk-tuk chase or whatever through the streets of Pakistan, that was cool. You know, the episode 6, good action. Good directing. You know, I love the shot where I can't even pronounce his name. But the dude with the other powers, and he's like beating up the damage control, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. But there's a really good shot where he like shoots his energy thing from the bracelet or whatever from his mom that she gave him before the void opened and all that, and she died. So, you know, he kind of shoots his power like that, the camera tracks him, and then as he gets up, the camera guy gets up. So there's some good shots in there. You know, it's weird when I explain it, but if you saw the show, you know what I'm talking about. But again, there's some of the action, like I said, the guys at the wedding, they're just like flopping around, and they try to do like some cool thing where like they put Bon Jovi music because it's like a thing, the mom likes it. It's a funny little running gag, but it's like, you know, if you're gonna, and I should know, all right, if you're gonna add music to an action scene, make sure the music correlates to what's happening on screen. Don't abruptly cut off the song. Don't go, we're halfway there, and they're just kind of standing around, or they're looking at pans in the kitchen. You know, you need to, if you've seen any of my tributes, you know, I take great pride in matching music to movement. And they did not do it here, and it just abruptly ends, and it's very cringy. And it was like, oh, it's cool. You know, this is sick. Let's go. They're having a badass action. Oh, it's over. Okay. Oh, they're back to dancing? Oh, okay. All right. Oh, they're going to talk again. Oh, all right. More agenda. Okay. Oh, it's over. Great. You know, that's how it goes. It's boring, bad action scene, and then it's over. You know, once they do get to the plot of the whole partition thing and the train thing, again, it does feel a bit forced. I don't want to say that was woke, but it did feel forced. You know what I mean? Like, why am I watching a Marvel show where they're just touring India? Or they're touring, you know, they look pretty cities, I guess. You know, they look nice, but it was just like a big tourist attraction marketing ploy. You know what I mean? It's like, episode 6 works so well because they focused on plot and action and comedy that actually worked, and not Kamala talking to her grandma for 50 minutes about partition. You know what I mean? I don't care about that stuff. And yes, they do make it work within the plot with the bad guys in the void. I'm not an idiot, all right? It was there for a reason. But at the same time, I'd rather be watching anything else than that. You know what I mean? And it does work to an extent. I'm not going to say this is a horrible show, all right? But, again, this is by far my least favorite MCU thing, and also, in my opinion, the worst thing MCU has ever produced. Again, I do think that it is, you know, CGI is passable. The acting is good for the most part. Again, for the most part. The story is good. I think that the actual, like, thinking about it is cool. You know, like, oh, Miss Marvel, she gets a bracelet, very cool. You know, she goes to different countries and finds out about her past, and then she fights damage control. There's a huge epic battle in you know, the city. It's just the execution is very boring and very kind of not well put together. And I think, honestly, she's not, Miss Marvel isn't even that popular in the comics. And, oh, I like her. I know people do like her, but, you know, compared to other comic book characters, she's not as popular. I do think she's a good character. I think the show is not horrible. I think she is pretty charismatic in the role. Kind of cute. I think that she's also very, you know, I guess, I don't know, you know, she is. There's just a lot of cool action scenes in the final episode. There are moments that do land in terms of comedy. There are moments that do land in terms of emotion. But a majority of it doesn't for me. And, you know, I was disappointed ultimately. You know, besides the woke thing, and then you just get down to, like I said, it's just boring. there's so much plot, and I don't care about the wedding. You know what I mean? I guess I want them to be happy family. I mean, I'm not a bad person. I want the Khans to be happy, but at the same time, like, do we really have to watch, like, the vow thing and them going to church or the mosque? It's like, I'm not a Muslim, I guess, so I can't relate to this, you know, and again, that's not racist, it's just the truth. It's just a very, like I said, I was talking to Echo and my uncle about it, because, again, they didn't like it, but it very much was a case of, look, I told them, I'm like, I don't know how the heck I'm going to review this video, because the moment I say I don't like this show, I'm going to get some guy in the comments saying, you're racist, you know what I mean? And just so we're clear again, I'm not. I just didn't like the show. I also don't like the woke stuff that's in seemingly everything in the world right now. That's got to go. But also, you know, the show itself. I never thought I'd say this, but I was bored during an MCU movie. I didn't like the action that much. It was very hard to follow at times. The editing was very strange. Like when that dude jumps into Bruno's apartment and damage control blows it up and, you know, hits the drone to the bakery or whatever, Bruno's like, you have powers too? Boom, end. That would have been cool. But they edit it where he goes, you have powers too? Like, he didn't really get the word two out. He's like, you have powers too? It's like, what is that? You know what I mean? You want to say that again? You want to have another take? No? Okay, I guess we're done. You know, maybe they did that on purpose. I don't know. But to me, a lot of the editing felt very quick. It was like, all right, next scene, quick, next scene. You know, that's how it felt. Again, I should know, when I did my very first tributes on my channel, they're not bad. But I noticed compared to my tributes that I do now, they're not as good, because I was learning. And maybe the editor in this is new, I don't know. But there are a lot of editing moments in this that don't feel earned, they don't feel good, and they certainly don't feel good to watch, especially with that kitchen pipe, the music. So many things like that really just don't add up. But I don't want to give you the impression, again, that I don't like this show. Well, okay, I don't like this show, but I don't hate this show, okay? I don't hate it. I'm excited to see the Marvels. I'm excited to see what Carol Danvers and Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, get up to, right? I think that the world building is cool. I think that when you're not shoving things down our throat, saying we matter too, it's good. You know what I mean? We get it. You've always mattered. You don't need to do that anymore. We get it, okay? I get it. But there's so many things in there where it's like, all right, I see what they're going for, and the execution, it's like the Star Wars prequels. You know what I mean? I love the prequel trilogy, but the acting and writing is not that good in a lot of spots. The plot is great, but the execution, not so much. And that's kind of what we're getting here. Again, I would watch it again. I'll probably get it on Blu-ray one day from eCreator or something, just so I can have it in my entire MCU collection. But honestly, I was very disappointed, and I really didn't like it a whole lot. I think that episode 6 is the best. Again, everyone says, oh, she's a mutant. Look, I get it. In the comics, she could just stretch like Mr. Fantastic, you know, and now they had to change it to, like, cosmic energy with a bracelet. I get it. It's controversial. I really don't care. I think it's cool. You know, I think people bitching about it are just complaining for no reason. I think it's alright. I know I'm a diehard comic book fan, but I'm not like, you know, I don't read every comic, every issue ever made ever. You know what I mean? Those people, I could assume they're pretty mad, and rightfully so. I don't. I have a butt ton of comics. I have like 5 stacks this big, but I don't read every single comic, especially Miss Marvel. So to see them getting kind of, you know, in a bit of a tizzle, I don't know. The fact that apparently, I guess she's the first canon MCU mutant. Maybe there's another one or more. I don't know. Of course, Bruno says the word mutation, and they all freak out. He didn't specifically say you're a mutant, but he alluded to it, so we'll have to see what that happens. I don't care about that. I think it's cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I didn't like the show that much, but I liked the end. And I do think that episode 6 was the strongest. Again, there are moments that work when they're slow. There are moments in the show that work, even in episode 1 to 5. I don't hate the show, but there's so many moments that could use a lot of fixing up and a lot more, effort put into them, that it makes the good stuff really stand out. But it's like every time there's a good scene, there's something bad or there's something woke. You know what I mean? And again, I don't like talking about woke stuff, as I mentioned in my GTA 6 video. But again, you're bringing into my stuff, you're kind of asking for it, right? It's free speech, I guess. It's only free speech until someone doesn't like it, right? Or until someone disagrees. Then it's a hate crime. But still, anyway, no politics. I enjoyed this show to an extent. Again, I'll probably buy it just so I can watch it on Blu-ray. But, I don't know. That's all I got. I didn't like it that much. And it's shocking, because again, I don't want to seem biased, but most Marvel things I really freaking like. And this was the first one where I was like, wow, this really isn't that well made. Like, I never thought the action in Marvel would be incomprehensible at times, or the editing would be weird that bad, or, they just do really boring stories. Like, it's just like a city tour, or, it's, I don't know. I enjoyed it to an extent. I'll probably give it from like a 0 to a 10. I probably, in terms of my enjoyment, I'd probably give it like a 5 or a 6. I was bored through a lot of it. And trust me, I watched it. I didn't like turn it off or go on my phone. You know what I mean? Like I still, I paid attention. You know, I didn't check out. But at the same time, in terms of how it's made, honestly, I give most Marvel shows from like WandaVision, What If, Moon Knight, Hawkeye, you know, all this Loki, Falcon, Winter Soldier. Those are high because I really enjoy those. Those are very well made for the most part. This, not so much. I'm probably going to have to give Ms. Marvel from a 0 to 10 in terms of just how it's made. And a final grade here, again, personally, you know, I had a little bit of fun with it. Personally, in terms of reviewing, I did look for flaws, and I just, as you know, I found a lot of them. So I'm probably going to give Ms. Marvel, this is tough, because I'm going to enrage some people, but I'm probably going to give it like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. I give most things 9 or 10 out of 10 for Marvel, because they're good. This, 6.57. Probably around the 6.7, just before 7, rank. So, tell me in the comments what you think, man. What do you think about Ms. Marvel? Do you love it? Do you not like it like me? Do you hate it? Again, I don't want to give the impression that I absolutely hate this show. And I also don't want to say that I absolutely love it like Moon Knight, right? I enjoyed it to an extent, but I was very disappointed, and I didn't really find a whole lot of it to be that great in terms of what we had before. You know, I hate channels that just hate to hate, and I hate channels that just love to love, right? I am not biased. If I like something, I have reasons. If I don't like something, I have reasons. I didn't like this a whole lot. Again, 6.7 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I'm hopeful for the future of Ms. Marvel in this franchise, but as of right now, their first outing in this show, kind of fun, but it had a lot of flaws. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.